Hi friends, if you didn't see my last video, I just filmed the intro and outro to that, so that's why I look the same as I do then. This video is very fun for me. I am dyslexic and I only really got into reading maybe like 1 or 2 years ago, and I'm going to show you my top 5-star books that are really nice entryways into reading. I think I have something for everyone here. No, that's a lie. None of these are true stories. They are all fiction. But I have different genres of fiction, which is a lot for me because I mainly exclusively, or almost exclusively, just read fantasy books. Which, if you do want to see more of my book reviews, I talk a lot more about books on my TikTok, and I do book reviews on my Instagram, and I have like highlights reel of that. But yeah, let's get into it. Starting off, this is if you want something that is like non-fiction, but it is fiction. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Also, I should point out that I normally read on my Kindle. I'm a Kindle girly through and through, but I have physical copies of all these books because I love them so much. But yes, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is such a great book. I love everything about it. I love the way it's told is like a girl interviewing someone. It's like Marilyn Monroe-esque figure, I think. That's what the vibe I get. It's set, she was like a rising Hollywood star in like the 1950s, and it's like set in now times. Yeah, I absolutely love this one. It's like 5-star. Same author. I've got it up here. Same person that wrote Daisy Jones and the Six. If you like this book, or the TV show that goes along with it, I haven't actually watched it yet, you'll probably really like 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Next is a book that is very close to my heart. I actually listened to this book, I didn't read it, and if big words and old-timey speech is a problem for you, or like you can't kind of wrap your head around reading it, I would suggest listening to it. If you have Spotify Premium, you have 15 hours free every month of audiobooks, and this is only 10 hours, and that's how I did it. But this is The Secret Service of Tea and Treason by Holton, who's a New Zealand author, I should add, which I didn't know before I started the book. I love this book so much. It's got pirates, it's got romance, it's got a little bit of smut, but it feels like you're reading smut written by Shakespeare. It is beautiful. If you also are after a like spicy, neurodivergent representation, these two definitely neurodivergent. It's got some magic in it, there are some witches, but it's not like, there's not dragons and stuff and fairies. It's like more of a realistic fantasy, if you will. But yeah, I love this book, 5 stars. Next is, it's more of a series, and my 5-star read in this series is actually the most recent book she's brought out, but it is a series that everyone probably has heard of if you are a fantasy reader, and you probably have read if you're a fantasy reader, but if you haven't, I would 100% recommend it. Or if you want to get into fantasy, this is a very easy fantasy to love. ACOTAR, or A Court of Thorns and Roses, by Sarah J. Maas. She has got 3 series now. 1 is complete and the other 2 are still going. This is one of the ones that are still going. The 5th book in this series, A Court of Silver Flames, is actually like my 5-star. I love it. I think I actually rated this like maybe a 4, but this is the start of the series, so I thought I'd bring this book. This book is a beautiful Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it's a pretty easy read. It's a really like romance fantasy, super lovely to get into. There's a bit of action in there as well. It kind of covers all the bases of a fantasy book that you want. There aren't dragons, but there are fairies. I've read all of her books. I've read the whole Sarah J. Maas universe. I love them all, and yeah, this series is what got me into it. So the next book is, this is a bit of a sadder one. I would say this is more like sci-fi-ish, slightly fantasy. It's like kind of on the borderline, also kind of has non-fiction feel to it. It's just like about a girl's life, but it is fiction. I've never read a non-fiction book, so I don't actually know if this does have a non-fiction feel to it, but in my head it does. But the book is The Midnight Library by Haig. I think that's how you say it, I'm not too sure. This book is beautiful. I sobbed like a baby. If you want to cry, I'd give this a go. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'm going to read the first line of the blurb in the back, which is, "Between life and death, there is a library." It's about a library that's a place between life and death. I think it's such a beautiful book, and I think at least everybody should read this book once in their life. If you've recently had death in your life, maybe don't, unless you want to make yourself cry. If you're in the mood to cry, this is the book for you. It is, oh, it's really, really good. This was a 5-star, 100%. So the last book on my list is the second by a male author. Now, I don't normally read male authors because I love a female protagonist because I like to be able to relate. This is a male author that writes with a female protagonist, which is a little old lady, and he captures her voice perfectly. This is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. This book is so good. It's hilarious. It's a murder mystery, but it's so funny. It's written in the perspective of an old woman, and she's got like diary entries from her, and he captures her voice perfectly. This is a series. I haven't actually read any of the other books yet. They're on my TBR, but we've got so many on there. It's just so fun, and I have watched murder mysteries, murder shows. I butchered his name. I've watched Agatha Christie shows, that's what I should said. I've watched Agatha Christie TV shows and movies all growing up. It's a huge part of my childhood. My mum loves them. And so I can guess a lot of murder plots, like murder mystery plots. Every twist and turn in this, I did not see coming. It's just so good. I can't recommend it enough. This is absolutely a 5-star. It's so delightful. If you've just read The Midnight Library, you need to pick me up. Read The Thursday Murder Club. It's just so delightful. Alright friends, that is all I have for my top 5 books. I love these books. I hope you love them too. Feel free to comment down below what your favourite books are and like what books you recommend. I will see you next week with another video. And have a beautiful, magical, wonderful week until I see you. And don't forget to take your medication. Herky Paro, Praro.